Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast chat. And you guys guessed it, I'm eating bison rice and drinking cranberry juice. And I had a video, actually a topic that a lot of people wanted me to cover. Multiple people asking in my comments, people sending me messages in my inbox. Even one of my actual friends sent me a message saying, hey, I think you should cover this video. And it's Candito's video about the bench press. Now, I'm not interested in watching YouTube fitness. I don't need to watch the video, don't want to watch the video, don't care. But let's address the topic, because I can tell you already what people have said. He said, I'm going to assume, since they've all been very consistent, that Candito believes that in lighter weight classes we need to get rid of the cheater bench, and instead of being allowed to put their index finger on the rings and create a big arch, they need to put their pinkies on the rings so we can get rid of these little short 5-inch range of motion bench presses that only short guys with short arms are capable of doing. And you know what? I don't think anyone cares. It's not a big deal. This is a storm in a teacup. Nobody cares. Like, no one gives a shit about the 150 and 160 pound weight classes, other than the people who compete in them and their loved ones. Like, nobody else cares. Okay? Most of these guys are not benching ultra elite crazy weights. Not like anyone's benching 700 pounds this way. Okay? They're just, let the short guys have their cheater bench. All right, and here's what I would say with that. The reason for it is it doesn't matter that much, right? People are rarely winning and losing meets based upon their bench press. It's the least important lift of the three. It lets the short guys actually be good at something, right? It lets them be good at something. They already get crapped on enough in life, and they enjoy their lighter weight classes. It's something they can excel at, and they can use all their leverages, advantages to their advantage. Okay? And if we're going to take that route, then you need to say, well, we need to just start removing anyone with freak leverages. We need to let people with a rare set of genetic traits come in and dominate one small element of a sport. I mean, that's the logic we're using. It's unnecessary. So what? There are a handful of guys who have really short arms, who don't weigh a lot because they don't bulk up and get really big, who have really, really amazing lower back mobility so that they can create a big arch and do that. Okay, they're odd men out. They're rare. They have an advantage on the least important of the three lifts. Well, if we're going to say, well, we can't have these freak genetics coming in and beating other people who aren't gifted with the exact same set of genetic traits, well, that's how every sport in the world works. If we're going to use that logic, we need to do something to stop these freaks with long arms like Kaler Woollum with his really long arms and his 900 plus pound deadlift. No one else is hanging with that. He has a huge genetic leverage advantage. Huge advantage that allows him to shorten the range of motion on the deadlift because he has really long arms, right? It's the same logic. But you know what, at the end of the day, number one, leverages don't beat out sheer brute strength many times. Do you know why? All right, take Thor, for example. Bjorn half Thor. Strongest deadlift in the world. He has bad leverages to deadlift. He doesn't have great leverages to deadlift. Look at his structure. He doesn't. But he is so big and strong that he still deadlifts 500 kilos, right? He deadlifts 500 kg, 501, I'm sorry, I'm not giving credit where credit is due, because he's just that big and strong. Julius Maddox, strongest raw bencher in the entire world, as of recently. Nobody else is within 30 pounds of him. 770 pound bench. He doesn't even use a wide grip. He's inside the rings, right? And he does a long range of motion. That's not a little short bench. Strongest raw bencher in the world. Why? Because he's just that big and strong. He's just that big and strong. At the end of the day, this doesn't matter. And here's what I'm going to say. People don't like this. I'm not big on the IPF. They go out of their way to make my sport that I love, out of all the feds, they go out of their way to create the most rules, to make the meets actually boring. And I've been to IPF meets. They're boring compared to any other federation, any others. I don't care whether it's the U.S. PA, which is the IPL affiliate, anything the WPC, the SPL, any of these federations, their meets are fun. They're fun to attend. IPF meets, and I've been to some to support friends of mine, are really boring. They make rules to create rules just for the purpose of having rules and being elite and being strict. They create unnecessary stupid rules all the time, and it's not just with the lifts, it's with other stuff with the meat and the clothing and everything else. Okay, so it doesn't surprise me that a diehard IPF supporter like Jonnie wants to create more additional rules, because they love that. These guys love rules, more rules. Powerlifting needs less rules. We think people like strongman so much, as people just come in and perform and do awesome stuff, and they're a little less formal about it. You know what? People like that. Okay? People like that. People follow strongman these days more than they follow powerlifting. Okay, we don't need more rules. We need to make this stuff more enjoyable, more fun for the audience. The IPF doesn't seem to like the audience. Okay, they're all about politics. That's all they care about. And that just is what it is. And I have friends who are officials, people I know personally who are officials in their federation, and I've heard their explanations. I don't agree with it. I think it's absurd. This is what we expect. But here's what I would say, Jonnie, if we're going to do this and to make short guys, because you're in that category, you're below average height, to make you short guys, if you don't like them having an advantage, well, why don't we do this with lifts that really matter? Because the bench is not that big of a deal. How about the deadlift? I mean, deadlifts win and lose powerlifting meets. I'm not quite in my center here. So they win and lose powerlifting meets. Why don't we take your ability to put your feet outside of the rings? Okay? Short guys using these wide sumos are cheating. That's a bigger cheat. That's a way bigger cheat on your total. I'm not saying to outlaw sumo. Why don't we make anyone in the, I don't know, any class under 200 pounds, small guys? Why don't we make you guys bring your feet inside the rings, even if you pull sumo? Let's get rid of these advantages. Let's get rid of the big advantages instead of something that doesn't matter, that only a tiny number of people even have the ability to take advantage of. Let's get rid of that. See what happens to your total. But then he probably won't be cool with that, because he's like, well, you know, it's not, yeah, it's a bigger deal. Way more guys use that to their advantage than that bench. It adds more to your total. It's a bigger deal. Let's change that. Or if we want to take away the advantage of leverages and short guys in general, just get rid of their weight classes. I mean, let's just talk about being strong then. Why don't we just remove every weight class that's less than 90 kilos? Anything less than 198, so anything less than 200 pounds. We should have the lightweights, one class, remove Wilks score, remove IPF points. Everyone who's under 200 pounds has to compete in the same class against each other. No handicap points. They don't get a Wilks advantage or anything. And then we just have the other heavyweight classes beyond that. We keep the other 5 or so, 6 classes above 200 pounds, and we just get rid of all the under 200 and just call it under 200. That'll uncomplicate things and just make them run all against each other. Then those who actually are bigger and stronger will be fine. Because those are the short guy classes, okay? People say, what do you mean? Weight classes are height classes in disguise. I'll tell you right now, if your average height, if you're anything above 5'8", which would then put you into the average height range, say for America, okay? You don't want to go anywhere near the sub 200 pound classes. That's where the short guys destroy you. That's where they destroy you. You don't want to go, if you're 5'9" or 5'10", you do not want to be in the 181. You don't want to be there. Not a good place for you. If your average height, you're cutting it at 198. That's skirting it. You really need to be in the 220. You need to be in the 242. That's where your leverages are best. So, I mean, here's the thing. If you want to get rid of all these cheating leverage things that shorter guys have in their advantage, just get rid of their weight classes and put them all into one class. Everybody under 200 pounds. That way guys on the edge of average height or just below average, they're all together. Just let them all go toe to toe. That will fix all these leverage problems. But they're not going to do that either. Because again, We have these weight classes because there's a wide variety of heights in humans, and weight classes are scaled accordingly, right? Is to give each individual height 1 to 2 classes that they can be competitive at your current height and bone structure. I think in general, powerlifting could probably get away with less rules. And here's what's always been said, and this is what I'll say to Jonnie and any of these guys supporting this. If you want new rules, go form your own federation. That's why we have like 7 different powerlifting federations, because somebody out there all didn't like the rules in the other ones, and they said, I think this rule or these 2 rules or these 3 rules need to be different. We're just going to start our own federation because we don't like the rules. And that's been successful. It works. If you don't like the rules, go start your own. You've got notoriety, you've got outreach. Start your own federation. I personally think drug testing should completely go away in all powerlifting. My opinion. Everything needs to be untested. Drug testing is stupid, right? Because the guys who are winning are still cheating, but they're cheating to win. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.